Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. This is the DNVR Avalanche pregame show for round 2, game 1. It took a week off for the Avs to get here. Dallas had to go 7 against Vegas, but it's finally here. It's finally game 1. Are we expecting a good series?
No.
1 no.
Yeah.
1 yes.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be a great series.
Look, anything is possible, right? I'm not ruling out bad series off the table. I'm just asking what we're expecting.
I expect it to be a good series.
I hope so.
2 really talented teams and 2 great coaching staffs.
I would agree with both of those things.
It's really, I think they're so evenly matched that it's such a hockey cliche and such an obvious thing to say, but the series will be as good as the goaltending allows it to be.
Yep.
So that's where I am with it.
I think that's a pretty fair argument to me. There are no bad teams in round 2 of the playoffs. I'll put it to you that way.
Nope.
Yeah, you got to be a good team to get here.
Except Vancouver.
And look, even then, compared to Washington in round 1, there are no bad teams in round 2 of the playoffs, buddy, okay? Avs, 1 change in the lineup. Chris Wagner coming in for Nikolai Kovalenko. How that actually shapes out in the lines, Wagner
I was
may
a
well
game early.
Yeah, you were one game early.
I was a game early on it. Gosh dang it. But it's nice to know Betsy's still listening to the pod. Still taking advice from us. So, hey, we'll be here all series, big fella.
Damn straight.
Eric, what's your take on that Wagner play? We'll hear from Bednar in a little bit, but he talked about getting a veteran into the lineup, that type of stuff. Is that it for Kovalenko? Oh, boy. Will Kovalenko get back into the series, or is it going to take an injury to really get him back into that lineup conversation?
Well, like we talked about it last week at length, right? I'm talking about Kovalenko. You got to get some reps. You got to stop thinking, and you just got to play. And he's not there yet. And the Avs, you can't blame Bednar. If you're a coaching staff, we saw the little mishap there on that play. Listen, everybody's human, but Bedsy and the rest of the coaching staff there, they're no different than everybody else. You're always going to take the veteran guy and turn that into he's a right shot, can take face-offs, and it's fair. Those are all valid points too,
Yeah.
So, and he's got experience and he's played in the playoffs. So, until you get Druin back and until everybody falls into place there, you know what I mean? Like is Kivy in? No, is Kivy in right now?
No, he's still hurt.
So that's why those are the 2, Druin and Kivy, that we're missing. Then everything falls into place there. And, hey, listen, you'll see Kovalenko again.
And Landy.
And Landy.
I'm just going to keep doing this.
You'll see Kovalenko again. This guy's fine, and he's just, it's a learning process. Unfortunately, the learning process is in the middle of the second, start of the second
tough
round.
Place
which
to
is,
start.
It's just not the most idyllic place for a coach to put someone in, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And Bedsy's ballsy. He does it. It's not his first time, and he's done it. But I think if he has another option, he's going to gravitate towards the other option like he's doing right now.
I don't even blame him. Again, I think you're realistically a handful of games into this series. Chris Wagner's probably not in your lineup either because of Druin or Kiviranta or whoever, assuming health-wise things go well.
Landy.
Yeah, sure. If Landy's coming in, now you're talking about like Cogliano not even being in your lineup. So,
perf.
If the 13th guy is this guy or that guy, I'm not going to nitpick it too much.
Yeah.
Either way. Anyway, let's get into some keys of the game here. Biggie has 3 of them to bring to you, and then we'll talk about a few other things.
Well, let's very simple. Going to be a loud building, right? So, and we've talked about it. The Avs have been, obviously resting, and they'll be a little bit rusty. And obviously, Dallas comes in emotional game 7, 48 hours ago. So 2 different types of teams right now, in the sense that one is, hasn't played in a while, and then the other team wasn't in the big game 7. So weather the storm early on the road. It's very important. The guys here make fun of me all the time, and I say it all, even or better after 10 minutes is key tonight. You want to take the crowd out of it, those green towels or the bang glass guy, whatever his name is there. I don't know if you guys have been following the bang guy.
He's been there for years.
What a pain in my butt.
At least he doesn't actually bang the glass.
But anyway, shake the rust off, take a hit, give a hit, get involved the first 10 minutes. Don't take penalties. Let the coaching staff throw everybody out there and get involved in the game. It's nothing worse than all of a sudden you're on the PK, you don't PK, and then 10 minutes into it, you're still looking for your first shift, and you're like, oh my God. So be smart. Again, be on your toes. Get at them. I'm not saying to sit back. I'm saying get at them, but even or better is a win for the Avalanche after 10 minutes. Number 2, when the momentum swings. I mean, again, watching that tonight, watching that last night with the Bruins, right? They get punched in the mouth when Florida first scores. Boom, shift after a goal. That's a no-no, Tiff. You know that. And then the Bruins get right back,
yeah,
right?
Tiff,
you know what
that.
I mean? And next thing you know, they score 4 goals on 5 shots. So that can't happen. Meaning, like after you can't give up a goal after a shift, but you can't all of a sudden give 4 goals on 5 shots. So you got to stop the bleeding.
Can't take 5 minutes off.
That's it. So you got to have some pushback, no freebies, and then find it anywhere. Find it anywhere. If it's drawn a penalty, if it's a big hit, if it's a big PK, it's not just always goals. So it's very important to make sure that you win the momentum swings because it makes a difference at the end of the game. Number 3, be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be something you're not tonight, especially after some time off. As individuals or as a team, make them adjust to you. You go out there, you worry about you, and then I do believe they're the better team. Let them adjust to you and not vice versa. So have some speed, get on the forecheck, quick outs, and then don't spend time in your D zone. We said it yesterday.
Yep.
Defense freaking stinks. It's not fun to spend time in your own end. Go play in the sandbox at the other end. That's fun.
Can't get scored on if you're not in your own zone. I mean, that's not entirely true, but it's mostly true.
Well, yeah, exactly.
This is the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by Coors Light and Bet365. Game 1. We always talk about how game 1s can be a little bit weird. I think you probably expect some weirdness in this one, given the Avs have had a week off. Dallas played less than 48 hours ago. I know I've asked you guys this before, but it's the pregame, so let me ask you again. As far as game 1 is concerned, the whole series, you like the Avs rest more, I think. Game 1, who has the advantage, the rested team or the team in a rhythm?
I think Dallas does, just because they're in that rhythm. They're playing with that emotion. That intensity's there. It's the same every other day. It's the same rhythm for them. It's just a different opponent. And so I think, we all know, and when it comes to playoff hockey, that every shift matters. Every minute that goes by in a game where one team is playing better than the other can be the difference in the game. And I think Dallas, it's just fair to expect that Dallas is going to come out and be ready to rock. And with the Avs, you just don't know. So that's, you look at how game 1 was for the Avs. They had a handful of days off before that one as well. Not a week, but a handful of days off.
Yep.
And, they weren't great at the start of that game. Defensively, they weren't very good, and their goaltender was horrible.
Yep.
It just doesn't really matter how anybody else plays if Georgiev is shaky. Yeah. He needs to be the guy that we saw the last 4 games of that series.
If one of the 2 goalies in this series posts a 700, that team's going to lose this game. Math ain't that complicated on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
But to AJ's points and to your question, I do believe Dallas has the advantage. And I tell you guys all the time on a Sega Baba, right? Back to back. I always say the team that played the night before always has an advantage. Now, by the 3rd period, you're at a disadvantage because you are a little more tired. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you could see that a little bit last night, Boston, Florida, if you watch, right? By the 3rd period, even though Boston had, the game was pretty even until halfway, until they scored 4 goals, 5 shots. And then Florida took over, the more rested team, and the emotionally involved team 48 hours before Boston. Now they were in the lead, and they were just sitting back, and you could tell that, Swayman had to be on, or else it could have been an easy comeback for the Panthers. So I expect a little
thing there is that Jeremy Swayman was fantastic.
Unbelievable. You got to be able to make saves tonight in the first 10 minutes. I think Georgiev's going to need to make saves, and why is that? your brain's not all there. It doesn't, hence you make some mistakes and you're like, holy crap, like you forget a man in the slot because you're not totally engaged in the game, like you said, as Dallas has been engaged every other night right now. The Avs were trying to muster that energy the last few days of practice, right? A couple days, then a day off, couple days, then a day off. You know what I mean? They were trying to muster the real game connections that you get. But as I always say, you don't get that on practice days. You just don't. You need a real opponent.
Yep. It's just a different level when it's for real. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's get into our Circle K eaters, but I want to change this one up a little bit. I want to spring this on you guys. I want your normal eater, but I also want a sleeper as well.
Oh, okay.
Sleeper eater?
Yeah. Who's checking the fridge while they're sleepwalking as well? Eric, I know you have your eater ready.
Yes. I'm going with my guy, Cale Makar. I'm going with Cale because, I don't know, I just love him. How's that? I just do. And that's
This is a perfectly acceptable reason.
Totally
I
reasonable.
I mean, the guy is supernatural. He's not human. So I do believe he's going to have an awesome. And I know when he plays against, Quinn, not Kent Hughes, but Quinn Hughes, Fox and Heiskanen, so he's going to want to show that I'm the man. And I'm not saying he says that because too humble. He'll never say that. But I do believe that's the guy. And here's my sleeper. So Cale's my Circle K dog eater of the night. Again, wow. Captain Obvious over here. What a tough pick that was. You guys can have him. He's a free agent. He's just not mine. He can be yours too. My sleeper dog eater of the night, Circle K, will be Brendan Duane. I want this guy to get involved a little more tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to be a little more himself of what we saw a little bit right after the trade deadline and, get back to in a good book, so to speak. Get him maybe a little more ice time and go from there.
I like it. AJ? Okay. My eater is Mikko Rantanen. Look, you finally started to see it in Game 5 for him, the guy that he's capable of being. Not just the goal scoring, but he was just significantly stronger on pucks and in general played a better game.
Yeah.
There is no getting away with that BS against Dallas. He's going to have to be the physically dominating guy for the Avs in this series because Dallas is not going to give you anything for free. You have to go out and be able to win those physical battles. Mikko is the guy capable of doing that, and the Avs are going to need him to do that. So he's my eater. My sleeper, I don't know if this is a cop-out, but I'm taking Jared Bednar as my sleeper. Something tells me this guy's just got a fire burning under him that he wants to put Pete DeBoer's head on a spike. I think that's where it's at for Jared right now.
That'd be awesome.
Full gladiator style.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, sucks for Pete DeBoer that he's dead in that situation, but
I just think there's something motivating Jared, especially in this series, to coach some circles around Dallas's top head guy. So I'm taking some Bednar coaching decisions as my sleeper in this series. AJ, who's going to Circle K for you?
I think I'm going to go with Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, it seems like a cop-out, of course,
3 cop-outs.
Low hanging fruit here, but I mean, you're talking...
Game 1 of the series, you know who the big dogs are, right?
Yeah, but you're also talking about a guy, he had 9 points in the first round, but you never really felt like he was Nathan MacKinnon for any extended stretch of time, so...
Yep.
I want to see him do the thing. I want to see him dominate a game. Show us why he's Nathan MacKinnon and Jason Robertson isn't. Yeah, or, whatever matchup they end up in.
I just made them as their top forward, generally speaking. Wyatt Johnson, whoever you want to pick, I don't care.
Yeah, and I think more important, I think that, I imagine he's going to see a lot of Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley.
On that defensive pairing, for sure.
Two guys that can really skate. So I think that's where I would start if I'm Pete DeBoer.
Sure.
I want to see him rip that apart.
Is he a friend of the show too, Pete DeBoer, or is he listening?
After what I just said, I don't think he's a friend of the show. No.
Yeah, I just openly talked about him being headless, so seems unlikely, man.
Sleeper?
My sleeper, I think it's Josh Manson. for me.
I like it.
Because I think in a series where Dallas is going to want to be a lot more physical, and we see this weird Josh Manson version in the postseason where he's flying around doing stuff with the
everywhere
puck
all the time.
He had 5 points in the first round.
Yeah, had some
So
rough moments too.
He's the
need-
leading scorer in a
need
lot of teams in the NHL in the first round.
Like you need a little bit of that extra scoring beyond your top guys there.
Yeah.
Josh Manson gave it to him in round 1, but he also brings that element on defense. And any of us that watched that series knows there's still more to give if you're Josh Manson.
Yep.
There's
you
better.
know he can
There's
play
a
better
higher,
than he did in that series for sure.
There's a higher level of play all around that he can get to. So I'm gonna go Josh Manson.
Like it.
I would if he wants to be the one that eats Pete DeBoer's heart. You know?
I'm
Go
down.
for it, dude.
I'm down. He can Kylie mop Pete DeBoer. We're good.
Yeah, he's just he's crazy. So give me full manimal. Full manimal is what I want.
I'm ready for it. Let's hear from my sleeper pick. Jared Bednar had his presser at pregame skate this morning, talking about Pete DeBoer some.
Jared, just the news of the morning with Nathan MacKinnon being a Hart Trophy finalist. I know you get asked about him all the time, but validation that he's in that conversation. Just what do you think about the way he's played this year?
Well, he's been outstanding. I don't think there was any doubt he was going to be one of the finalists for that. I mean, I think that was pretty clear early on. He as consistent as he played and as dominant as he's been through the course of the season. I think it's just, we were expecting that.
Coach, just building off that a little bit, what can you say about the way that he's maybe, or if he's changed at all, his leadership style, or has he, with Gabe not being here for 2 full years, has he changed the way that he leads in the room, or is it the consistency that makes him as great as he is?
Well, it's the consistency in his preparation. I mean, takes care of his game first, but there's no question that his leadership has evolved over, the 8 years that I've been with him. It's I think when you get your game to a spot that you feel comfortable with as a young player, and then you understand how important winning is and what it takes to get there, then you start trying to help everyone else around you. And he's certainly done that. He's branched out and evolved as a leader of our team, but some of the things are still very consistent. The way he leads by example, the way he prepares himself and helps prepare our team for our opponents. Those parts of his DNA have always been there, but there's no question that he's got a bigger, picture outlook on the game now than he did when I first came.
Nick? I'm sorry. You've coached a couple series against Peter DeBoer. First, I just want to ask, any common threads from those series that you can learn from?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some. Yeah. It's different teams, different, scenarios. Like, I think when we played them the first time would have been San Jose. They were one of the established best teams in the conference, had a lot of success. We were kind of an up-and-coming team. In Vegas, we played him again. He's with a different team. Our team's at a different spot. Now he's on another team in Dallas. It's a very good. All those teams that he's coached have been very good, very disciplined, very well-rounded. Obviously, a very good coach. And now our team's kind of at a different level again. So, be a fun series. I think they're a well-coached team. They're very well-rounded team when it comes to the way they can produce offense deep throughout their lineup, and then on the defensive side of it, they're rock solid, including special teams and everything. So this is obviously a team that finished top of the West, and they're there for a reason. Part of that's Pete's coaching.
The second thing, they would really put an emphasis on the rush game against Vegas, a really good rush team. What do you expect they'll do against you?
Well, they're going to play their game to their best of ability. They'll have keys for us, and part of that will be shutting down the rush attack. I don't think it's anything that any team doesn't try to do against us. They've just been better at it than most other teams, So, and we have the same sort of keys that we need to focus on with them, shutting down their offense and still trying to create as much offensive as we have in the past against them.
Corey?
So there's like a lot of connections between the two franchises, but just and a lot of history too. But just where the two franchises are at right now. do you sort of see this as like, you guys might see them, 3 or 4 more times? It might just be like a thing where these two teams see each other in this round often.
I don't know. Like, the league is so difficult that as soon as you go into the top teams, I mean, we're in the same division. You have to play out of your division. So whether you face them first round, second round, if we keep doing what we're supposed to do and get into the playoffs, and they keep doing the same thing, you're gonna face each other a lot. It's just the way it is with the current playoff format. So they're obviously a very good team, and we like to consider ourselves that. So yeah, I would assume that you're probably gonna run into each other every once in a while.
Evan?
Look like you might make a move putting Wagner in on the line up there. Just what would you look for from a veteran like that, just replacing a younger guy?
Well, the stability, he is a right shot centerman that's able to take draws. He understands their system. He played good games for us throughout the course of the year, so kind of taking away a little bit of the guesswork. He's a dependable guy, physical guy, not scared of traffic. Has, like I said, he's got experience, playoff experience, and so that stability, understanding exactly what needs to be done, and being confident within his game. That's something we could add with him.
So Bedsy knows it's not going to be an easy series. They know they're in against a good team. They know they're going to have to try and impose their will. Let me ask you guys this. The Avs obviously going to try and play with pace. You expect Dallas to try and sludge it up a little bit more. How important is it to be the team in the driver's seat in Game 1? Not necessarily win the game, but be the team imposing their will in Game 1.
You'd rather that than not. So
it's not nothing?
Yeah,
but it's not everything?
I think it's important, but you have to be multiple in order to win a Stanley Cup.
It's true.
Dallas isn't going to be able to win a series against Colorado playing as slow as they did against Vegas.
It's true.
Colorado's not going to be able to win a series
by speed bagging Dallas.
Exactly. It's just each team's going to have to adjust to what the other one does well.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we see the green picket fence.
Well, are they wearing those neon heinous jerseys? Can we have the neon picket fence?
Highlighter picket fence?
There you go.
Glow-in-the-dark picket fence? Maybe? Yeah, I'm curious to see how, because Colorado has to prove still that they can win a game mucking it up. They won the first series walking away, scoring 5 goals per game.
That's not going to happen again.
That is not going to continue in this series. If they score 5 goals once in this series,
that'd be a good series.
It would be great, but the Stars are great defensively. And where I think they're better than what Winnipeg was in that series is that the Stars' individual defensive talent is way better.
I would agree.
There's no Chris Tanev, Miro Heiskanen hanging out.
Yep.
The closest they had to a Miro Heiskanen was Josh Morrissey, who's great.
But he's not that guy, pal.
Well, and he was their only defenseman that was any good against the Avs. True. The Stars are just better, and they also play better team defense. Their forwards are better.
They're just a better team.
And I think that their coaching staff is going to be a lot better, and it's not going to be the coaching staff waiting until they're on the brink of elimination to try something different. The Avs figured out Winnipeg, and the Jets were just like,
guess we just lose now.
Yeah, damn, that sucks.
I'll say something stupid here, because it won't make sense. You're not going to get away, you're saying, the series, the Avs by, outscoring and scoring. Usually in playoffs, it's hard to score goals, But the Avs is the opposite. It's like, will they be able to win a game 1-0? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
No, I agree with you.
My stupidity, usually you can't, but the Avs are so different. They're so powerful offensively. That's, and if it's funny, I think the key, the big word is going to be even keel. And I think that's where Bednar, your sleeper, is so good at. 2 weeks ago, everybody was talking about the Avs that they're going to get shit kicked by freaking, Winnipeg, and the whole hockey world was, and all of a sudden now, 5 games later, everyone's like, oh my God, good luck, Dallas. You're facing Colorado. It's a freaking different animal. And you listen to everybody. It's totally different. 5 games later, all of a sudden, and that's what I mean by even keel. You know what I mean? Like, you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are, right? So you got to be a little bit in between. And I think they have the perfect weapon in Bednar to make sure that they know that.
I hope you're right. I hope things go well here in game one. Let's get to my bets, or in this case, should I say our bets, comrade. The DNVR boosted bet with Bet365. Casey Middlestat to get a point and the Avs to win plus 300. Pretty good little boost there.
Great bet.
On an Avs bet that you can get in on here. The Middlestat point has been coming up big for me in round one. Hopefully they keep that going in round two.
He needs to come up big for them.
They need him. They
Yeah.
need that line to be. Obviously, you're not asking that line to score a goal every game, I think, like they did in round one, but you need that line to be effective. So
There's
I think
also
he
a
wants it to.
50% boost on the game.
there you
So,
go. Yep, 50%
take that plus
same game parlay
300,
boost. If you want to boost it even more than it already is.
But it's a good bet, too, because Middlestat wants it. You can see he wants it.
he's hungry.
He's not shying away from it. He's hungry. He's hungry like you like your rap here at the DNVR
Well, I'm curious
bar.
where their matchups go.
Yep.
Because, you know, the Avs were very comfortable watching Casey Middlestat rip apart Mark Scheifele.
Yep. On that top line or whatever
for
you want to call
the
it. Yeah.
middle portion of that series.
So do you
But-
get that, or just Casey match up against a Matt Duchene or something like that instead?
Yeah, so it's you know, Jamie Benn is a center for them. Rupe Hintz is a center for them, and right now it's Tyler Seguin / Matt Duchene. Pick your poison there. Those are all good players. Casey Middlestat should not be looking at any one of those lines going, oh no, I can't hang with any of them.
He can handle
they can.
it. Yeah.
Ross Colton can.
Yep.
But they're going to have to do it.
Yep. I think
And
the-
Nathan MacKinnon has to be Nathan MacKinnon in order for the whole
for
thing
the
to
Avs
work.
to win, of course. It's got to start from the top. There's no doubt about that. When you gamble with Bet365, you have to be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. That is it for this pregame show. Puck drop in less than 10 minutes. It looks like this Carolina-New York game might be going to overtime, so keep your remote ready. Avs puck drop may start on ESPN2 here at 52. So we appreciate y'all. We have a watch along coming your way in a few minutes. Tune in to that, and we'll talk to you in a few.
We all silly like the mayor.